Right now, Air Force One coming in for a landing in Havana at Jose Marti Airport there. A historic trip by a U.S. president, the first U.S. president to touch soil at this moment right there in Havana, Cuba, in 90 years. Along with the president, a contingent of some 39 members of Congress also on board, 11 business CEOs and entrepreneurs.
It will be the first visit to Cuba by a sitting American president since Calvin Coolidge in 1928. President Obama announced the plans on his official Twitter feed today. And Deputy National Security Advisor Ben Rhodes outlined the goals.
We see it as a means of pushing forward this normalization process, trying to achieve a greater opening between the United States and Cuba commercially, but also supporting and advancing the values that we care about.
Cuba argues the U.S. is to blame for lack of progress, as a top Cuban official underscored today.
Of course, to achieve full reestablishment of those bilateral relations, outstanding issues would have to be resolved, including the lift of the embargo and the return to Cuba of the territory occupied by a naval base in Guantanamo.
Congress is refusing to lift the trade embargo, and the White House said today the U.S. position on retaining Guantanamo has not changed. Human rights also remains a point of contention. Rhodes said today that Mr. Obama will meet with civil society activists during his visit, but leading Republicans urged him not to go at all. Presidential candidate Marco Rubio, son of Cuban immigrants, spoke in a CNN town hall last night.
There's no elections in Cuba. There's no choice in Cuba. And so my whole problem, I want the relationship between the U.S. and Cuba to change, but it has to be reciprocal. And so today, a year and 2 months after the opening to Cuba, the Cuban government remains as repressive as ever.
Even so, the White House said lawmakers from both parties will accompany the president. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Margaret Warner.